Hey, how's it going? Huge movie fanatics on your case. Well, today we're going to do one of our very famous Nate hasn't seen it but Matt has reviews, and it's going to be on the
Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. The final installment of any Harry Potter movie ever. It's done. He's not a huge fan of them. I am, so yeah, there you have it. And speaking as a fan, I thought this movie was just exceptionally well done. It was really, it moved really fast, whereas some of the previous movies have had...
Tell me about it.
They've had their pacing issues. This one, it runs at a sprint through from start to finish. Unlike some of other movies that have like such extreme speed to them, this one stops to have the emotional moments in the speed of the sprint, and the emotional moments hit in the impact, and I dare you not to cry at the end of that movie. It is so heartbreaking and so moving, and it was just exceptionally well done.
Did you?
I did. I cried. I cried
both times?
All three. I've seen it three
You've
times.
seen it 3 times and you cry all 3?
Yeah, I did. There's
if you got something in your eye, go see Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Hallows Part 5 or whatever the hell it is.
It was very moving, and that's what the entire franchise sort of has been leading up to, this big bad battle, and the battle pays off. It totally is worth it. The action is extraordinary, but more than that, the raw human emotion that comes out of the characters is what ultimately matters the most, and it works. It lands, and that's what makes it so impressive, and the acting is so good, especially from Daniel Radcliffe, who plays Harry Potter. He really sells it. I could see him possibly getting a special nomination or something at the Academy Awards.
What do you mean a special one?
Well, like I don't necessarily think he'll win, but I can see him getting a nomination for
like one of them other stupid Golden Globes or whatever.
Something like that. I can see him getting a nod, and I can see Alan Rickman getting a nomination. It's certainly Ralph Fiennes, and possibly even Emma Watson, who played Hermione Granger. These people, like there wasn't a weak cast member. Everybody brought to the last one, even if they only had a single line to deliver. Everybody delivered with such intensity, and if everything felt right. And the emotional walk...
Whoa, there's our helicopter!
The emotional walk through the Forbidden Forest with the Golden Snitch. If you've seen the movie, you know what I mean. That is it resonates so hard with anybody who's seen any of the previous movies. And I think, like, I don't necessarily think people would like it if they hadn't seen the previous ones, but I don't see how they wouldn't admire it even if they haven't seen any of the other ones. There's something just that is awe-inspiring with this final installment. It really ends on a note of finality. The final scene, like the very last shot of the movie, is really good. A lot of people have sort of had problems with it. I think it's so well captured, and it's very moving. What I'm here to talk about mainly, though, is we were discussing last time about 3D, films in 3D, and we even talked about this one, the fact that this was coming out in 3D.
We got a 2-part review here on this channel, Huge Movie Fanatics, about our feelings of 3D.
Yes, so I'm here to talk about it.
Check it out.
I was hoping to, when I heard that this was in 3D, I was hoping to feel like the awe I felt with other 3D movies that were specifically Avatar and Beowulf. This one, I've seen it in 2D and I've seen it in 3D, and 2D is so much grander, a grander experience. It feels 3D anyway, and when you put on the glasses for the 3D,
You've got 2 pairs on.
Yeah, I do have 2 pairs on, so I look like a bespectacled dork. But it just didn't really work. Like, I mean, there were times where the 3D works kind of well. There's a scene where Harry and Voldemort are sort of flying through the Hogwarts outside. That kind of worked. It's not a huge spoiler. There's a scene where they're in the Gringotts vault. I thought that worked pretty well.
Are you talking about 3D?
Yeah, in 3D.
It worked well
in 3D. Like, there were a handful of scenes that worked well in 3D when they're fighting the snake at the end of the movie. Ron, Hermione, and Neville are fighting the snake. That I think works really well in 3D. Outside of that, like, the 3D was completely unnecessary, and I've seen it in 2D, and I felt more of an emotional attachment in the 2D version. What I will say with the 3D is that it sort of blocks out any peripheral vision that you have, so that it is an entirely immersive in that sense, so that you're not focusing on the people around you.
The exit sign is
the exit, yeah. It sort of immerses you more into the movie in that sense, but I don't think it works all that well in 3D. Also, it makes the movie insanely dark. The movie is so incredibly dark, except for basically one scene, which is entirely shot in white. The movie is very dark blue. It is very, very dark movie. And when you add the glasses, it just drowns out any color remaining.
Oh,
it was kind of
my stars.
It kind of lost me there.
It sounds like a disaster.
The 3D, it wasn't a disaster. It worked better than like Crash of the Titans did. I mean,
that's his ultimate all-time 3D sucker.
Pretty much. Like it worked better than Cars did, or even Toy Story 3 to some extent. Toy Story 3 I thought was the best movie last year, but the 3D didn't add.
Was this shot in 3D and converted?
I thought it was shot in 3D, but I'm convinced it was converted because they had a trailer ahead of the movie for John Carter of Mars by Andrew Stanton, I believe, who did WALL-E. He's one of the Pixar guys. And that movie, the 3D like worked gorgeous in that trailer. My God, it was just remarkable. And so I was like, oh, I'm ready for some Potter in this. And
I'm ready for some Potter.
And it didn't really work all that well. And like the movie's so dark, at one point a character dies, and I wasn't entirely sure which character it was because there was 3 people in the scene. One of them fell. I'm not sure who it was. And having already seen it in 2D, I know, and having read the book, I know who it was. But if you haven't, I can see being very confused for parts there. But yeah.
I probably don't have to say stars, do I?
Stars, I'd give it 4 stars. It's
4 out of 10?
No, 4 out of 4. It is stronger. It is Harry at its strongest. It's how Harry should go out. This franchise has been phenomenal.
Is it the best Harry Potter movie?
It's up there. Like I go back and forth.
What do you love? Can you tell me your favorite?
Well, each one has something about it that I like. Like the 4th one, to me, I think is probably my favorite one. It was at the height of my Potter interest, essentially, and the movie moves so well in that one too. And it was the first one where the kids really stepped up, and it was the first adult movie. The 3rd one, I think, is done with the best visual style. Alfonso Cuarón, who made that movie, he also made Children of Men, which is another fantastic movie. Great filmmaker. That movie has such a great visual. It's made with style. In terms of visual cinematography, the Half-Blood Prince, the 6th one, is just gorgeous. Like, that movie was nominated for an Academy Award for its cinematography for a reason. That movie looks better. That was the best-looking movie, and it lost to Avatar, which for cinematography. And Avatar, I mean, I guess that is cinematography,
but it's not even real.
Yeah, it was completely created. Whereas Harry Potter, it was designed like on camera.
Yeah, and the live-action cinematography and everything that's live-action Avatar is just cold and clammy and cold.
So
that's kind of cheap that a CG movie can win a best cinematography. What?
Yeah. So like